Hey everyone, I'm back with another Marvel Legends X-Men figure review. This is another one of my all-time favorite figures. This is the Juggernaut figure. Absolutely great figure. I'll start off with the complaints most people have. Number one, his arms are considerably longer than they should be, anatomically speaking. I don't mind. I think it's fine, but a lot of people hate that. Number two is the waist articulation. A lot of people really hate that. I don't particularly care for it either, but it's not a big deal. If you hate it that much, just glue it. Other than that, it's really a great figure. There are a couple small things to point out, and I'll do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a fair review, but overall, it's great. Let's start off with the size. He stands 8 inches tall to the top of his helmet, so he's a really tall figure. He weighs about 15.5 pounds. That's not true. I'm just kidding. He doesn't weigh that much. But he does weigh a lot. He weighs probably about 1.5 pounds. So that's a lot for a 6-inch scale figure. The paint app overall is really good. There are some problems, at least on mine, and I'll point those out. If you look, there's lots of dry brushing throughout the collar piece, which is an add-on. This was originally a Hulk figure. They resculpted parts of the arms, obviously, for the bands, and the belt buckle is resculpted. But the whole upper torso is the same as one of the Hulk classic figures. They just added these parts on. But that's okay because it's fitting for Juggernaut. So lots of nice shading and paint on the helmet and the collar. Some scuffs and things. Really nice looking metallic paint there. Good sculpt on the added on parts. I really like the sculpt of the helmet. It does come off on this figure. So it's really sharp looking piece. The head's not bad. I wish he wasn't smiling. I mean, it's not terrible, but more of a grimace would have been better, I think, or a closed mouth. But it's okay. The painting is really good on the face and on the hair. There's nice shading. He has the same kind of veins as that. Which Wolverine was that? The brown-suited Wolverine. He's got the gray veins, and I don't get why they're painting him gray. They look really weird like that. But it's okay, I guess. The helmet goes on. It doesn't fit perfectly in there, but it fits well enough. So no real complaints. Onto that ab crunch type of thing. It is weird. It just kind of slides all around, and it's okay for posing, I guess, but it really is not realistic at all. I don't get why you need to slide around. If it was a ball joint that kind of rocked back and forth, that'd be much better. So you probably won't use that other than for rotation, but all this sideways and forward and back movement, not necessary. He's got regular ball jointed shoulders on top of this little additional joint, which is okay. It's not necessary, and it's kind of awkward looking. It just looks like a hunk of meat coming out of the side of his body, but you don't really need that. It doesn't really add anything, just like Colossus. So leave that in there. Just use the regular shoulder joint as normal. He's got a regular bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow, almost no range of motion, but that's okay enough. I mean, it could be better, obviously, but on such a big figure, you don't need to have all the crazy articulation. He's got a wrist swivel at the end of his little metal band thing there. Oh, by the way, all the metal parts have the dry brushing on them, so it looks really nice. So he's got that. He's got a wrist hinge there, a thumb hinge, or a thumb pivot, an index finger pivot, and then the other 3 fingers as well. He can't make a complete fist, which is probably another one of the biggest complaints I forgot to mention. It's just kind of that half fist thing. So it doesn't really look that great. It could definitely be better. Still not a big problem. If you look over here, I don't know if a lot of them have this or not. I need to look into it, but mine definitely has it. Factory paint touch-ups. Hopefully it's showing up on camera. I don't know if it is or not. Can't really tell in the screen. But there's paint touch-ups all throughout the shoulder up here and all around this joint down here. And I know it's factory because it's clearly not the kind of paint you can buy at the store. I would know since I'm a customizer, you cannot get paint that's this durable. Even with a knife, it doesn't scratch off really. So it doesn't really match perfectly, so it doesn't look very good. I'm gonna have to get that replaced, I guess. I don't remember that being there, so I don't know. That's no good. Anyway, same articulation on that arm. For the waist, we already talked about. Regular jointed hips, forward, back, no problem. A little bit loose, side to side, no problem. Thigh swivel at the top. Double jointed knee. You get plenty of articulation in there. No shin articulation. The paint's a little sloppy around the top of the boot. Not so much so that it's really a problem, but it is a little sloppy. Then tons of ankle articulation. He's got a regular pivot there and then a huge ankle rocker, so that's good. And then he's got a toe joint. Some people do complain that his feet are really non-realistically shaped, but they need to be that big for the figure to not fall over since it's such a heavy figure. They're not too big, I don't think, but they are kind of clown shoe-like. But there he is. That's not Colossus. That's Juggernaut. He does come with a base of, I guess it's technically supposed to be the Xavier Mansion gate. You can read the words on it, hopefully, if the camera will focus. It's in focus, but I don't know if you can make them out. Maybe a little bit. Let me see what it says. Xavier Institute for Gifted Youngsters, 1407, Graymalkin Lane, Salem Center, New York. So it's just the address kind of thing. But it's a really nice base. It's got a lot of detail. And it is meant to emulate one of the comic covers where he's stepping through a broken wall, I believe. You can't really get it done because he's so huge compared to the broken wall. But that's that. So there's Juggernaut and his base. One of the best Marvel Legends in my opinion. Plus it's the Juggernaut, so you really have to have it. So no question about it. Get this figure if you don't have it. Great figure. I would buy him, probably buy him on card if you can, or in the clamshell, because he does get loose joints and things like that. But definitely a great figure, so go pick him up. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for more reviews, and in the meantime, keep collecting.